the age of 60. What started as a hobby refound, turned into a passion and is now bordering on an addiction. Please welcome Kerry Jones, living the dream or feeding the addiction. Living the dream or feeding the addiction, Kerry Jones.
Here's John. Four! Wow, just about hit Dennis and Orwell there. You guys are really lucky. I first started playing golf when I was 23. My dad retired and took up the game, so being a good son, I went out and bought a cheap set of golf clubs so I could have somebody to play with. Never mind that I hardly ever played with him, because he was retired and played during the week, and I was working and played on weekends. But because he's the reason I started playing golf, I blame it all on him. You hear that, Dad? It's all your fault. When I started playing golf, I didn't have any friends that I played with, so I'd just go out to the golf course on Sunday morning and get on the singles list and wait till there was an opening. Well, sometimes, as soon as I get there, they'd say, hurry, run out there and join that group on the first tee. And I'd have to go out there and start without any warm-up or anything. Other times, I might have to wait 2 or 3 hours before there was an opening. And I'd be getting stiff and I'd warm up, but then I'd be stiff and not ready to play. So the first sign that this might be becoming an addiction comes in the solution I found to that problem. I found that if I got to the golf course before the sun came up, I could be high on the list. But do you know what time the sun comes up this time of year? Well, sunrise is about 5:45 a.m.
Oh, really?
Now, it gets light enough to play golf about half an hour before that. And it took me about half an hour to get to the golf course, and I'd have to get up and have about half an hour to get ready. So I'd be getting up 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning to go play golf on Sundays. I was either crazy or addicted. The second sign came from the fact that a round of golf should take about 4 to 4.5 hours to play. Well, sometimes on Sundays, the course would get so jammed up that the game might take 6 to 6.5 hours. Now, the dedicated golfers out there, they would be complaining and just cursing these people in front of them for being so slow. But I'd say, hey, I don't mind. Being out here for 6 hours with you guys bitching and moaning and whining and crying about how long it's taken is far better than being at home listening to my wife bitching and moaning and whining and crying about something I did or didn't do. But the truth was that I was just so thrilled by the verdant spaces of the golf course that I just had an irrational love of being out there. And the third sign of my addiction was I decided I had to have expensive golf clubs. These cheap clubs I had weren't good enough. I had to have the kind of clubs the pros played. Really, I wasn't that good. But I knew that when I got good enough, I'd have the right clubs for it. Well, time came when I got divorced and lost my job. Found that golf was just a little too expensive to continue. So I had to quit cold turkey. Well, after about almost 20 years, I finally accepted the fact that golf was out of my life, and I sold my golf clubs finally in a garage sale. Less than a month later, a neighbor of mine bumps into me and says, hey, Kerry, do you play golf? So I used to. Why? I said, well, a bunch of Toastmasters and I play every Friday, and we got an opening this week. You want to join us? My second golfing life began when I said, sure. Well, it was just a couple of weeks before Father's Day, so I said, hey, I'll go out and buy myself a Father's Day present. Cheap set of golf clubs. And I started playing with these guys. But the problem was, I was kind of the extra guy, so I only got to play when they had an opening. And my passion for the game had been reignited, and that wasn't enough. So I found that there were some marvelous things that happened in the 20 years that I hadn't been playing golf. Now I didn't have to get up and go out there before the sun came up. You can go online the night before and scan all the courses in your area, find the opening, and reserve it. So you just go out there and play. That's great. Only problem is, golf is kind of expensive. And being retired, I had to watch it. So I could only play about once a week. It just wasn't enough. So I discovered that they have an annual membership at the club I play with. And for one price, I can play as much golf as I want during the year. So I started playing 2 or 3 times a week. That still wasn't enough. They have a men's club out there, so I joined the senior men's club so I could start playing in tournaments. I played in 3 tournaments now. I won 1 outright and won money in each of the other 2. But hey, I must be pretty good. I need more. Well, one day I was at the driving range, and a Titleist golf ball company was out there doing custom golf ball fittings. Now, I bet you didn't know that golf balls need to be fitted.
You're right.
But they do. They had this fancy high-tech equipment, and they would analyze your swing, and they come up with a recommendation on which golf ball you should be using. And much to my surprise, they suggested I should be using the most expensive ball they sell. The one the pros use. Wow, I must be really good. So, I decided playing in these little local golf tournaments wasn't enough. The Golf Channel, and yes, there is a TV channel devoted to golf 24/7, sponsors the Golf Channel Amateur Tour. They play tournaments around the country at courses that the pros play on. So, hey, that sounds cool. And I joined. So now I'm going to be playing in my first tournament at the end of this month. And boy, and then at the end of July, I'm going to be playing in a tournament in Independence, Missouri. I am a touring golfer. I'm using the best golf balls and equipment available. Hey, I'm living the dream. But I'm not addicted. When I start coming to Toastmasters meetings after playing golf, then I'll be addicted.